you're good.
Well, good morning, friends. I think I can call you friends. We've met here once before, and today our whole goal is to make a crock of sauerkraut. We have 6 heads of cabbage that are about 10 pounds apiece.
So
Yeah, they're grown fresh. I go to a market about
Orchard Market down by
Orchard Market down by Scottville and Ludington, and they grow these down there. So I haven't,
but because I hadn't flown
You're good.
for so long.
This is how we do things. We have fun.
well, first of all, before we start slicing the cabbage, shredding it for, I'm gonna put some boiling water on.
You can get water.
But I tell you, it's a car.
We're gonna have coffee too, friends.
Holy,
It's,
I have not driven
it's
in
pretty
the car
important that
since
we
I got my Camaro.
scald all of our,
my Elantra.
utensils that
I
we're
have
gonna
an
use,
Elantra
the board,
that I bought.
I've cleaned the crock already.
So this
And then I'm gonna mix the
2018 is-
cabbage and the salt in a big pan. We won't leave it in that pan because it
Well, I
is
put the key in.
aluminum, and you can't mix aluminum with
tried to
salt.
turn
It
it,
would,
and you couldn't
for
turn
very long anyway. We're just gonna start to get the juice over the sauerkraut for a few minutes before we put the first layer in the crock. And so I'm gonna scald my,
Well, there's a button, it's gotta come down.
I'm gonna scald my, I have
Sits right
this is the pounder that's gonna
Like
pound the
this.
sauerkraut into the crock.
in the ignition.
Gently, of
for
course.
the computer
My friend
chip
made
to-
this for me
Isn't
many
that
years
cool?
You
ago.
won't get
Look at
it.
this.
It's made out of a piece of green wood,
And I
and
just
in it
find the
nifty?
light.
dried.
Isn't that pretty handle? Oh, I love that thing.
That's how
That's
people
heavy.
used to do
Couldn't
things.
find
They
the
just
thing to
made it
pull
by
the seat
hand.
up.
My friend always
Tisha,
said,
I stayed with my friend's daughter.
necessity
when
is
I
the
first
mother
got
of
here,
invention.
and,
When you need
So
something,
the
you
morning I was
invent it.
gonna leave, she found it, she set the
So
seat
we'll
for me.
scald that real good. And then we have the pan that I'm gonna put the sauerkraut in to start with the salt. So I'm gonna scald that too.
Yeah,
There we go. You can just kind of dump that
Swish it
on.
around.
Yeah, onto the. This is the.
Dump it onto here.
Yeah, this is the 100-year-old
Here, I'll do it with
cutter
it.
that I'm gonna use. It's my husband's grandmother. You're on the video, Terry. That's my brother just passing through. So, yeah, it's bacteria is good bacteria that we ferment foods with. Watch your fingers.
Yep, I got it.
So, but you know, sometimes bacterias aren't good.
Lori, I'm gonna take off.
Oh, okay, Terry. See you later. Thanks for the paper.
Rod's sleeping.
Yeah, he's
So I
sleeping.
might see you one time before you
Yeah.
get ready.
Yeah. So, what we want in the sauerkraut is what they call like a lactobacillus, or what people take pills for today, to keep their flora in their stomachs.
Probiotic?
Probiotics to keep their stomachs healthy. Well, when you eat fermented foods like sauerkraut, fermented pickles, you can do almost anything.
I tell you.
Mostly I'm
Amanda
just pickles and
has such a
sauerkraut.
wonderful husband.
But
Yeah.
if you
He
don't
made all
can
the
it or
arrangements
cook
for the car.
where the bacteria
From
is, which
Georgia.
is the good bacteria, acidophilus,
Here in
lactobacillus.
This goes back to
If you
computers.
can this,
Yeah.
it kills
Yeah.
the
Thank
bacteria
God.
that's good for your
All I
stomach.
had to do was show my license.
Old time
and pick
women
the
like
car
my
up. That was it.
grandmother, they left it in the
no
crock on the
hassle,
back
no
porch, or
nothing
where the
with
woodshed
him
was,
doing
they
all
left
that
it in the
for me.
crock, and when my grandmother wanted some,
I
she
went
went to the
that
crock,
way.
pulled out a big pan and went and cooked it, or ate it raw, they did. And so that's why people were so healthy. You didn't hear a lot about the diseases we have today,
Well, if you.
with our
if that computer
stomachs
ever
and
goes out,
everything that people have trouble with. So
I don't have.
fermentation is an extremely good way of
that car
getting
is all
probiotics,
computer.
I guess you could say. So,
If anything, if that
Yeah.
computer goes out,
well, I'm
that
gonna
thing-
put
turn
this
this around?
over.
Oh, yours has that.
I'll
Right
turn
here.
this around.
Yeah,
Yeah, yours has that.
I'm gonna have to
button.
come back this way a little bit
Yeah.
more.
get my.
Hang on, friends, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops, is this in the way, Renee?
Nope.
It shuts, but
Okay.
I want to show them the big crock. See the big crock there?
it's the- where.
Can you?
That thing is huge. Yeah, I got it. Look at how big that
This
is.
is a 12-gallon crock,
Oh, wow.
and
People get away with
it's probably going to be just about right for 6 of these heads of cabbage.
Jews there.
So
It's all chipped.
it's
up.
not hard to do. It's a little time consuming, but it's fun. And families probably did this together, you know, over the years, like they used to do apple butter over an open fire or whatever. They do this outside because it can get kind of messy, but we'll just clean it up.
Boy, that thing is
You
beautiful.
have a nice sharp knife,
You take care
and
of
then
this now.
you just start cutting the cabbage, hopefully.
I don't know.
Pulling off the outside
What
leaves.
do you do with these? Cover it with.
I'm
You
gonna,
save these?
no, I'm gonna put them in this kettle here. We'll just throw the leaves here in an old kettle, and we
I'll put them
come,
down here.
my husband and I, we compost all of our green stuff into a compost pile in the backyard. And then about every other year, it's probably, the compost gets about this deep. We just have so much fresh vegetables and stuff. We throw on the compost, anything green, grass clippings, nothing with preservatives or fertilizers. We don't use anything like that here around the yard because we have a lot of bees and hummingbirds and stuff, so my head probably isn't in that way.
No, it's not, but you're fantastic,
Okay,
Maureen.
okay,
They
that's
just
fine.
love you, and
Yeah.
so do I, and I thank
Um,
you.
So anyway, when we do the compost, it doesn't take long for all the worms to break it down and turn it into black dirt. We don't have to have.
I don't think I can get your head in there because I
That's
got
fine.
what you're doing.
That's fine.
That's why I need another camera so I can get all those different angles.
Yeah.
It's nice that you can do that. I tried to get into it.
This is so fun. I've never made sauerkraut. This is going to be a learning experience for me too.
So we're gonna cut these. They're just as solid as a rock,
You want me to cut them?
basically. So we're gonna get them in half, and then
Do you want me to cut one
sure,
in half?
yep, you can cut
All
them.
right.
This is fun. Just throw it on the table or the floor. We'll
just
sweep
set
it
it there.
back out. Here, let me pull that out a little bit more, Renee.
I'm a little chubby. I'm fluffy.
There we go. Can you still see us, everybody?
Yep,
Okay.
they can see.
Let me move this chair. Whoop. Go ahead, cabbage everywhere. I don't know how to go.
Okay. We'll cut this in half.
Yep. Now Renee's taking her turn at cutting. They're so solid it's really hard. You almost need an axe. That's what makes good sauerkraut. Crispy, fresh cabbage.
Look at there, I got it.
Look how beautiful these heads are.
This one too?
Yeah, we'll cut them all. We'll cut all
Okay.
these to start with.
Set this over here.
Yep.
These are huge.
Yeah. You got a lot more strength than I do.
Yeah, there you go.
There.
Okay. Now we're just gonna cut these in quarters.
Cut them in quarters
Yep.
again?
We're
Cut
gonna
them
cut
again?
the halves into quarters, yep. And then you're gonna core
Cut the
the
core out?
cut the core out
Like
of the
this?
cabbage, yep,
That's how I do it.
yep,
Perfect. Let me get this thing over here.
yep. There we go.
These go in there too?
Uh-huh, all
All
the
these
leaves.
loose leaves?
Yep.
All right.
Wanna sit down? Sure. My sister's here from Florida. We are a large family, and we find ourselves growing older. And if we don't see each other like we like, most of us live in this area, but my one sister lives in Florida, my youngest, so she's here for a couple days. Okey-doke.
All right, I'm getting it. You
Yep, you're doing great. Very good. Yeah, it's fun to do this.
This
and then
is, yeah.
you can make salad from sauerkraut with little vinegar and oil and green pepper and onions and celery, and then it keeps in your refrigerator for a long time. You don't have to can it. It's just sauerkraut salad.
Okay, I got this one, and oops, I'm going to my knife there. Got that one and that one.
Okay. What we're gonna do now is
Oh, let's move that around.
Not drop our cabbage on the floor. See, you quarter them, take the cores out, you know, you get so it's just nice and, so you're able to not get any outer leaves or parts of the core that might be tough. So Renee's doing that. This is a,
We're busy.
yeah, there's that one.
Every time I do a video at home, my phone rings. And I laugh all the time.
Yeah, hello.
It never fails. I love it.
Hi.
And then yesterday I was doing the spatchcock chicken.
Oh, yeah.
And the door rings and I got a delivery for 12, and I was gonna bring you some too. A whole dozen of the shelf-stable milk.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh yeah, I'll bring some for you. I don't need a whole
I'll
dozen of
have-
them, but
I'll
yeah,
have
it
her
was
call you
a
later.
delivery, she says.
Sweet.
Love it.
I love that shelf-stable milk for bread and
Oh my
cooking.
gosh,
Like, it's 2% usually, and so you don't have all the fat, but of course, you know, fat is good.
I get those and I share them.
Butter's good.
Ellen's back in Florida.
Awesome.
She got in a little.
Yeah. My middle daughter was home for this week from Florida also, and she just got back home to Florida, so we're happy about that, so.
All right,
Okay.
dear, I got,
Oh,
let me
she's,
set that right
yep,
there.
she's got, Renee has quite a bit here started, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the shredding.
Let me start shredding it.
Yep, you start shredding it, and, yep,
Just like so. Oh, look at that.
yeah, as you shred, this is very
Be
old.
careful, careful,
Yeah,
'cause
this is a very old cutter and it's extremely sharp, so when you're cutting, you can use the new cutters they have, like, I forget what they're called, a mandolin even, to shred cabbage. You can use a sharp knife to shred the cabbage.
do you got something to protect your fingers after a little bit or no?
Yeah, it would, and if you got little chunks left here, let me see if I can find a bowl or something to put them in, Renee. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because if I go any farther, I might cut my finger.
Yep, you can't go too low. We do have, uh-huh.
Oh, this is so nice.
We have the original box to put on the cutter that you can move back and forth, but I find it quite cumbersome, so I just use it as far down as we can and being very careful, of course. But if you have children helping you in your family, you could use the box so they can't go way down into the blades, because they are very sharp.
Yeah, look at it. It goes slides over that like butter.
How many halves do you have so far? Two? That's the second one?
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna do 4 halves.
Oh no, this is the first half. This is a quarter.
Yep, so
I got
that's,
2 quarters, 1/2.
okay. We're gonna do 1 cabbage at a time as she shreds them, because then we'll add the salt, and I'll show you what we do next with mixing and massaging the sauerkraut. Yep, that's fine.
Okay, now 1 more or 2 more?
2 more.
2 more. Okay, here we go. Look at how this does. That just amazes me.
You need to show them what it looks like yet, or just in a minute?
I will in just a
Okay.
second.
Yeah, you can see, oh, sorry.
Yeah, you got it.
See the shreds, how beautiful they are? Renee's gonna pan down a little bit to see how fine they are, and you could probably cut them a little finer. Some people even add onion or carrot. We can add caraway seeds if you like caraway in your sauerkraut. I'm not going to do it this year to the kraut. I can add it as I cook it. I love the taste of caraway seeds, and if you put sausage, maybe some of you make your own homemade sausage, and then as you braise your cabbage or put it in the oven with your sausage, the caraway seeds just give it such a good flavor.
Look at how that does.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh yeah, okay, there we go.
Okay, then we'll
I'm afraid you don't want fingers in there.
no fingers and no blood. Okay, we'll put the rest of that
What do you
into
set that on the, oh,
we'll just, if it'll fit in there.
oh yeah.
You see what we've got out of 1 head, folks. You see how beautiful shredded this is? It's just gorgeous, and you can smell the cabbage flavor. It's just crispy, and it's a cold day here, and you can associate fall and early winter with this type of preparation for your pantry.
And our hands were all clean first.
Yes, our hands were clean, our equipment is scalded. Yes, make sure everything is as clean as you can get it. I mean, doesn't have to be sterile.
Look at that, I'll give them a close-up of that. Watch this. Look at how beautiful and shredded that is.
Yep.
Just gorgeous. And you're right, it does smell good.
Uh-huh. Now, the next step, we're doing one, whoops, sorry, you okay?
Yep.
The next step is, we're gonna do one head at a time because the dishpan's full now. We're gonna add 5,
I zoomed in on it a little.
okay, tablespoons of kosher, or you can use kosher salt. 3,
3. I do the same thing.
4. I can't talk and do anything at the same time. 5.
You're doing beautiful. Oh, I love it.
Okay. Now the next step is we're going to massage the sauerkraut until we start having juice run from the cabbage. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes massaging, just as, just massage the salt in until the juice starts to run into the cabbage. Then we'll put it into, do you want to try it?
Yeah.
There you go. Then we'll put it in the crock, the first batch. Now sometimes we might not have enough juice as we massage the cabbage, and you can make a weak brine with a cup of salt water and a half a teaspoon of kosher salt or canning salt. Iodized salt will not work usually. It doesn't let the fermentation process work like it should, so we should always use kosher or canning salt for our,
It's already starting to get
Yeah.
juicy.
for our cooking or for our canning and sauerkraut and pickles. You can feel already it's beginning
Yeah.
to form its juice, and that's what we want over the cabbage. We want the cabbage covered with its juice to make sure it ferments properly. And also the temperature. I wanted to make it a couple weeks ago, but it was kind of warm. And if you make your sauerkraut when it's too warm, it will ferment too fast and be soft and mushy and maybe not taste good. Or if the temperature is too cold, it will take longer, and it probably will be okay, but I think the ideal temperature is around 65 to 68 or 70 degrees.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, beautiful. Yeah. It's cold on our hands, but
You get rid of the swelling.
yeah, it's good for if you could do it if you had some simple arthritis. This cold would be good for it.
Look at that. I love that.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And then the fermentation process uses yeast from the air. It's in the air around us. All these the good bacteria and even the bad, but this is good. It's yeast out of the air.
It's almost like kneading it.
Yeah, you basically want to knead the cabbage. We can feel the juice just running really, really good.
Yeah. Oops, did I get your finger?
Sorry, I got her finger.
No, I got yours.
That's what's fun about doing things together. You can talk and have fun, and things when you're doing it, like canning together, anything.
The juices start, you squeeze it, the
Yes.
juice just runs.
It just is so much more fun because you can talk and have fun. That's what I love. I have a favorite Amish cook. I read her column faithfully every week, and I love it because the family does it all together. And families don't do that stuff so much together anymore.
Look at that, how that's-
I know, it's amazing.
There's so much juice on the bottom of the pan.
It's pretty close, Renee.
Yeah.
I think we're about ready to stuff it into our crock. I'm wondering if this is going to be too big. But you know what, I got 4 more heads. Okay, folks, you want to see here, it's just really juicy. We're going to put that into the crock. Whoop, whoop.
It's see the, oh, I think they missed.
Then we're gonna just layer this until all the cabbage are used.
Oops, hang on, I gotta back this up a hair. Oh, there.
We got the first head in and the salt. And I put 1 head of shredded cabbage and 5 tablespoons of salt. Salt,
Look at that down in there.
yeah, I don't know if you can get close
Yep.
enough to.
Let me rinse my hands and I'll get right over there with the camera.
Okay. Even the smell of the cabbage is a little bit different because now the juice has started running and the salt has started taking over that fresh cabbage crispy taste. So
Okay, let's see here. Let me take this off here. Bear with me, friends. Okay. Back this up. Can you see down in there? That is nice. When do you fill it up first and then pound it?
I'll have you pound it down gently if you can pan that down.
Yeah,
Here,
I can.
let me do it.
Yep, I'll move this.
Yeah.
Let's see here. There we go. Let me back up a little bit so we can see the whole. There we go. We got a good shot.
Okay, Renee's gonna gently just kind of pack it in there. There's not a lot in to pack yet, but just a little bit. It'll bring more juice out.
Oh,
And
you know what? I can get them right in on that so they can see that.
oh,
Watch this. There. They can see it a little bit here. There, friends. Now you can see that. I'm packing that down in there. I'm just kind of pushing and twirling. Is that the way to do it?
yep, just a yep, that's it.
Just like so.
Yep. You know, my grandmother was what they call Pennsylvania Dutch, from Pennsylvania in Gettysburg. And of course, she was married to a Danish man, my grandfather. And when she'd make sauerkraut, of course, Pennsylvania Dutch is just another word for German. And when she'd make the sauerkraut, my grandfather would go, "Don't be putting that sour cabbage on my table." And she'd laugh, you know, because my dad and his brothers and sisters loved sauerkraut. But not, I guess, being a Dane, my grandfather didn't like that. So, but she never quit making sauerkraut until she got too elderly to do it. It's just, I love, my heart just, it's like spring. Fall time is when you put your food back for your family. You fill your pantry, your root cellars, you butcher your meats and stuff in the late fall and early winter, and then come winter, you know that you have food to feed your family. And that's extremely important because at the price of food in this day and age, it's so expensive. So everything that we can do to help alleviate the cost of our food, it's just that much better for us. And it's better because there's no additives. It's not GMO. You know how they change the structure of our food.
Whole food.
It's whole food.
Does that look good?
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Perfect. You see all that juice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I got it nice and flat in there.
Yep.
You might have to transfer it to a smaller one. Is that what you were thinking?
Well, I thought, but maybe not, because once we get
Well, I'm gonna eat that.
the next few heads in there, if that fills it half full, that'll be okay. Yeah, I worry sometimes about what is being put in our food, the additives.
Do I keep punching this
No,
down?
don't, you're okay. You can just leave it set there.
Okay, you want me to do that for you?
Sure, if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
You enjoy doing that.
Oh, I like learning this.
Oh, it looks beautiful. And it will take between 3 to 5 weeks for the fermentation process. It depends on how sour you like it, the longer it ferments, the more sour it becomes. I like mine kind of in between, because when I make sauerkraut and sausage or a pork roast, I always add a little brown sugar, maybe a chopped apple, a little applesauce, and maybe some of you folks do too. It just kind of perks it up.
What do you do with, I'm eating all the scraps.
With what?
What do you do with this?
Oh, I'm gonna chop that and boil it for soup. If you want some to take for soup in a bag, that'd be perfect. Here, let's see what we got right here to slide this off. Gotta be careful with our fingers.
Yeah. Definitely.
There you go. We got just one more head to put in on this batch,
Okay,
or one more half a head, I should say.
okay, I'll do that. I can
Well,
see
we
how
got-
this could make a real mess in your kitchen.
I was just gonna say, we have cabbage everywhere, but that's okay. I'll be sweeping afterwards.
Messy cooks are good cooks.
My children grew up, because we lived on a farm when my kids were growing up, so I could grow a big garden and raise our animals, and I did a lot of my own, I did my own butchering, except for a steer we had. But I processed everything, I made my own lard, sausage, so we knew what those animals were fed. And my children, they were raised, they loved when I made sauerkraut and pork, or surprisingly, kids,
Well,
you
that's
know,
it
you
for
wouldn't
that
think
one.
they'd like that. Yeah,
Not gonna
that's,
get no more of that in there.
but they were raised that way, so,
4 cloves of garlic.
Do you want that in there?
yeah, you can put that in there. Okay, now we do this all over again.
And then I'm gonna let the blender do the rest.
Oh, this would be good for soups and stuff that
Yes, our
the
sauerkraut.
left, nothing goes to waste.
No, nothing goes to waste. We'll use that for soup or braised cabbage, or a coleslaw.
You know,
Whoop.
you could actually pretend
Sorry. We'll put 5 tablespoons on this head of cabbage. There's 2,
you can use it to spoon over
3,
chicken or fish. You
4,
can mix it into soups, anything goes.
5. Now again, folks, this is kosher salt or I use canning salt.
I'm gonna make sure the bag is totally sealed.
Oh, I just love doing this. This is so fun.
It's not a
And I'll
hard,
have to hunt around for one of those crocks.
yeah, it's not a hard process. It's a little messy and time consuming, but the result, folks, it's incredible. When you dig into a piece of snow white sauerkraut, take a taste of it into your mouth and think
With
of
some
all
nice
that
homemade sausage.
probiotics that you're eating. So,
This would go good with pork and everything.
oh, roast pork, pork steak, sausages. I even have a recipe for sauerkraut, chicken thighs, you know, I brown the chicken thighs, and then you put like cream of chicken or cream of mushroom soup over it and roast it in the oven. That is delicious, with chicken even.
Yup, Susie does it with sauerkraut, chicken thighs, and Italian dressing.
Oh, that would be a good
Yeah.
dinner. We're always looking for casserole type foods, and the closer we can eat to the garden, it's the best for us. When I was growing up here, we ate everything from the garden. We couldn't run to the store. We ate seasonally. My dad would see a gentleman on Saturday and bring home a couple big chickens. Saturday night they would be butchered, and Sunday after church they would be on the table, and the neighbors, a couple of the old bachelor neighbors would come in and have dinner with us. I don't know how we stretched
That's
that
just my
food.
phone. Oh, that's no big deal.
Okay.
Oh, it's in my pocket. That's
But
all
we
right.
did, we shared what we had with everybody, and that's what Renee does, and I try to, because it's a wonderful thing to have a sharing heart. In today's society, with so much hatred that we're seeing everywhere, if people could just come together in common goodness and in love for one another. It just breaks my heart to see this stuff. We teach our children how to love, and then someday as they grow older, sometimes they forget these things. They need to be reminded periodically.
Look at how juicy this is.
I know, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm going to
that
set
feels
this
good
right
on
over
my
here.
hands. I think I got the camera on a pretty good angle.
Yes, you
We
do.
both can get seen.
Yeah. You want me to do that for a minute? Or are you doing pretty good?
I'm doing good. Look
Okay.
at all the juice.
I know.
I wish they could see that.
This is 2 heads of cabbage so far, and it's getting again.
See if they can see the juice running out of
See
there.
how that is?
Ah,
With that cabbage is so fresh, it's releasing all of its liquid, so it can ferment with the salt.
this
Yeah.
one's juicier than the first one.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, if we don't have quite a bit, enough liquid in as we get the last cabbages in the crock, I'll make a, excuse me, a weak salt brine just to pour over, and then I cover it with a plate and then a clean jar full of water. Put the water jar on top of the plate and cover it with cheesecloth or a big towel. And then I check it daily or every other day, and if a small scum, they call it scum, forms on the top, you just take a spoon and skim that off, and it doesn't hurt anything. That's just part of the fermenting process.
Is that juicy? Look at that.
That's pretty juicy.
Do I keep going with it? Is
No,
that
no, that's fine, Renee. She's so zealous. She's having so much fun making sauerkraut. It'll be sauerkraut before it's time. Whoops. Yeah.
There.
Okay, now I'm gonna shred some more, and she's gonna gently pound in the kraut into the crock.
No, you're fine. I got it.
I think he's hungry.
Aw. Kitty was just around. Okay. Look at that. Boy, I massaged that good.
Yeah, you sure did. Yeah.
This thing, I can't believe this thing is heavy and it's beautiful.
Well, my neighbor took a piece of green wood, like elm, from an elm tree, and he drilled a hole, and then he shoved this stick into it, and as it dried, it's just perfect for a stomper for sauerkraut.
You don't have to stomp it. It just the weight of it just
Yeah, just pushes
it down.
Yeah,
Oh, I love this.
yeah. It's a lot of fun.
And we shared the beans too.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
got like 9. I think I had 9 requests for beans, so I divvied up all the beans I had between me, and we all got even amounts.
Yeah, if you plant those in the spring and they produce, especially the shield figure beans, they're good for soup and baked beans.
And yes, we get a tour of her pantry. She's gonna share her pantry with us. There, is that good?
Oh, that's perfect, yeah.
I got it nice and flat in there.
Everybody's busy.
Oh, I had a ball with that.
Organize my fridge. Let me tell you my plans for the very $3.75 for about 15
This is my
minutes
3rd year.
and serve it up with more
February will be 3 years ago.
It's funny, as cabbage is such kind of a lowly vegetable like rutabagas and turnips and potatoes, but it has fed the world for many, many centuries, cabbage has. People maybe had nothing to eat but cabbage and potatoes, and it sustained them because it's got a lot of vitamins in it, minerals. You know, you always hate to see a child stick their nose up when you put a plate of cabbage in front of them. It's like, oh, eat it, son, it's good for you.
It is good for you.
I don't think they believe us too much anymore.
All right, so we'll finish up this
Yep,
and then we'll,
we'll finish this head, and I still have a few more heads to put in.
finish that when we come back.
Yep, and then I think Renee wants to, she's itching to get into the pantry. And then she'll keep track of how the sauerkraut is fermenting over the next few weeks, so everybody can see the process of what it takes to do this. And then, it's too bad we don't have smell-o-vision when we cook some of
You
this
love it?
this cabbage with
Oh my
sausage,
gosh.
so you can see what it really is like for your own homemade creations.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, friends, we'll be back.